Do you feel like the universe has a plan, and that your life would only be better if you could just learn to trust the universe? Do you look for signs from the universe to point you in the right direction? It seems harmless to believe in the vague notion that the universe has your back, right? There are some religions and worldviews that believe in something called pantheism. Pantheism is the belief that the universe is God, and on this view, we are all part of the universe interacting with itself, and thus everything is one. This is also called monism. In Hinduism, this is expressed in the phrase Atman is Brahman. Atman being the individual soul, and Brahman being the world soul, or cosmic soul. A more common expression of this in New Age spirituality is that because we are the universe, that we should therefore trust the universe. The universe itself seems to take on a sort of personality or life force that is ultimately benevolent and has our best interests in mind. But what about atheism? When spirituality is taken out of the equation, the same picture arises. What makes a human being significant is that they are made out of stardust. In a universe that is largely hostile to life, we have emerged against all odds to a short but precious existence. It is science that tells us that when we look up at the night sky, that we feel a sense of purpose and connectedness because we came from those stars. But science tells us something else. You see, according to modern cosmology, the universe is actually finite and expanding, and as it expands, the energy in it thins out. This is called entropy, and it will eventually lead to the heat death of the universe, otherwise known as equilibrium. And when the universe reaches this stage, there will be no more energy, no more light, and no life. All of the universe will become a cosmic graveyard. Let's go back to the idea of pantheism. If the universe is God, then God not only has a birthday, but he also has an expiration date. And it doesn't matter if you're reincarnated after death, if death is the end of all things. And just as it doesn't make much sense for us to put our faith in an inanimate object, it doesn't make any more sense to put our faith in a larger object, even if that object were the size of, say, the universe. The reason that the New Age spin on pantheism is so attractive is because it absolves us of all responsibility while still providing us a sense of purpose. In Mere Christianity, C.S. Lewis addresses this. When you are feeling fit and the sun is shining and you do not want to believe that the whole universe is a mere mechanical dance of atoms, it is nice to be able to think of this great mysterious force rolling on through the centuries and carrying you on its crest. If, on the other hand, you want to do something rather shabby, the life force, being only a blind force with no morals and no mind, will never interfere with you like that troublesome god we learned about when we were children. The life force is a sort of tame god. You can switch it on when you want, but it will not bother you. All the thrills of religion and none of the cost. Is the life force the greatest achievement of wishful thinking the world has ever seen? But what about the idea that when we remove God or spirituality from the equation, that we can still find purpose in the unlikeliness or the brevity of life? Well, on atheism, we're still met with the same fate. Those rearranging furniture on the Titanic are no different than those boarding the lifeboats, and those who feed the poor are no different than those who build nuclear missiles. The end is all the same. And so because man ends in nothing, he is nothing. Life, if God does not exist, is ultimately absurd. And the idea that we are special because we're made of star stuff is just wishful thinking. And so where does this leave us? In the face of all the facts, humanity's only true hope is theism. On theism, the individual is eternal and infinitely more valuable than governments, nations, or universes. And being in relationship with God, who exists apart from the universe, means that human beings have a chance to transcend their temporal expiration date and live eternally. And because human beings are eternal, their choices have eternal value and consequence. And ironically, even though theism offers hope and dignity to individuals, it also humbles us. Unlike pantheism, life is not about us. It is about God. But this puts us in the hardest position possible: responsibility. The fall of humanity was the result of humankind's desire to take the place of God. And when we realized that we couldn't take his throne, we deny that it even exists. Does the universe care about you? No, but God does.